Wayne and Danielle, Wally, Cassidy, Amanda, Sam, Jeff and Sarah, Katina, Phil and Vanessa, and so many others. You didn't just offer encouragement, you offered yourselves, your time, your hands, your belief. And that's when I was reminded of something I've always known to be true. This was never just mine. It belongs to all of us. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge my Devil's Haircut family, Justin, Cassidy, Shannon, and Rachel. I've never experienced a salon that is so drama-free. To watch this group support each other, teach each other new techniques, and work through life stuff has been extraordinary. I really cherish the unique connection that we have. And Rachel, she's not just my business partner, she's my friend, my wifey. She calls me on my shit. She hugs me even though she's not a hugger. And when I start to freak out, she doesn't judge me or resent me. She just quietly starts picking up the pieces until eventually she looks at me and says, "Okay, Lene, pull it together." And I do, most of the time. Rachel, thank you for your steadiness, your honesty, and your loyalty. None of this would exist the way it does without you. Traditional business practices were written for a world that no longer exists. So how does a business survive? It creates the world it can thrive in, and more importantly, a world that other people can thrive in too. Within these walls, I've witnessed people fall in love. I've watched unlikely friendships form between people who might never have met otherwise. I've seen differences set aside in favor of curiosity and connection. We've held weddings, baby showers, memorials. We've supported beginnings. We've celebrated beginnings and honored endings. We've held space for the full spectrum of what it means to be human. And sometimes, when we fall behind, members step behind the bar to wash dishes, cut fruit, or bus tables. Not because they have to, but because they want to be a part of it. And that tells me everything. At Devil's Haircut, the story has been just as profound. For 10 years, I've had the privilege of walking alongside people through their lives, through COVID, through cancer, through reinvention, through high school dances, pregnancies, marriages, divorces, and fresh starts. A haircut is never just a haircut. It's a moment of becoming, a moment where someone decides who they are next. These places were never about hair or cocktails or four walls and a roof. They are about belonging. They are about creating a space where people could be fully authentic, where they didn't have to pretend, where they can be messy, joyful, grieving, hopeful, all of it, and still be welcomed. Community isn't something you can manufacture. It's something that forms slowly through shared experience, through trust, through showing up for each other again and again. I see you, George. And that's what you've done. You have supported us. You have believed in us. You have grown with us. So tonight, as we celebrate 10 years of Devil's Haircut and 5 years of the Crazy Diamond, I want to say thank you. Thank you for trusting us with your stories. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your lives. Thank you for helping create something that is bigger than any one person. A place where people can feel seen, known, and at home. I truly believe everything happens right on time, and standing here tonight, surrounded by all of you, I know exactly where we're meant to be. Here's to 5 years. Here's to a fucking decade. And here's to whatever comes next.
Oh, I wouldn't want to have to follow that.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rachel Bell. I'm Lene's co-owner, wifey.
at Devil's Haircut for the past almost 6 years. I just want to thank everyone who came out to celebrate 2 small businesses, because without you, we wouldn't be here and still open. Devil's Haircut opened 10 years ago, and I think it's safe to say that the town of Chelsea had questions. But instead of the devil worship that everyone thought, Lene created a space way better. A space where you could walk in, be yourself, no pressure, no judgment, and no expectations. I watched from afar and quietly cheered on a place that felt completely different from anything this town had ever had. Fast forward to COVID. When I needed a change, I walked into Devil's Haircut and interviewed what was probably the most natural interview I've ever had with Lene. We both looked at each other and said, I really like you. And here we are. It became my new home. While building my clientele, Lene brought me into the Diamond, which at the time was an empty shell, not open yet. And I got to help bring it to life, which was pretty cool to see. And now look at where it is. Helping artists have a place to sell their art, ordering from local restaurants who didn't have a place to have indoor seating, and a time where there were shower curtain dividers because you had to be 6 feet away. Leading to local bands performing, more local art displayed, and helping local charities and bring the community together. I've watched both of these spaces become carefully built, thoughtfully adapted, and grown into real communities. They've created friendships, safe spaces, and truly something this town needed. I'm proud to be a part of what you've built. The 2 homes from the ground up, building incredible teams to support behind them. So, congratulations to 10 years at Devil's Haircut and 5 at the Crazy Diamond.
When I first ever met Lene, it was, I don't think I've ever told you my story, but we were sitting at a board meeting for, if you remember the old Smoke and Ale festival we had, and we were all there because everybody else was on time. And it's always at the Chelsea Fairgrounds. If you know the parking lot, it's a big gravel lot, and out of nowhere, here's a little bead of just a dust trail coming across at about 100 miles an hour across the gravel lot. And I was like, what the hell is this thing? So she comes grinding to a halting stop. She gets out, has her shades on, struts over to the table, and I forget who I sit next to. I'm like, who the hell is this? And so they're like, that's Lene, Crazy Don, or Devil's Haircut. I was like, oh shit, all right, I never met her before. So I was like, and then it just went through the meeting, and then she talked, and you really find out who she is. And that was literally the first time I ever met her. And the same person sitting next to me, I'm like, the rules in this town just changed. So I knew at that point, I mean, you were going to be unstoppable. I mean, it's just, you could tell. And so just through the years and just getting to know you, I mean, I really, you know, you've become just a great friend to me and a great peer to me, you know, and I lean on you, you lean on me, you know, and it's just a lot of stuff that only we get to see with our battle scars, you know, and compare. So, but I'm so proud of you, everybody in here, really the whole town, it's fun to watch you do your thing, you know, I mean, it's the Lene show, and you should grow. And I think people have learned real quick, if you're close enough to Lene, if she says, I've been thinking about something, you should probably listen, because the wheel in her head's going 1,000 miles an hour. So, but I'm just truly proud of you and excited for you. And I mean, 5 years in this business, holy shit. 10 years in any business, holy shit, right? So, and it's literally the land if you can't make this stuff up. And but it's never boring, and that's why we do what we do, right? So, just really cheers to you, Lene. Congratulations. I'm proud of you guys.
We started by me babysitting for this little tiny critter, Oliver, about this big. Every Friday morning, Lene would drop him off at our house, and Ann and Lene would go to the B&I meeting, and I would take care of Oliver. and I would change his diaper, and we would count to 5 in German and French and Spanish and English, and of course he didn't understand a word I was saying. And I'd change his diaper and wiped his butt and fed him, and we sat at the piano and he would play the piano, and it was wonderful. So I got to know Oliver before I got to know Lene, because Lene would always drop him off and leave. And she told us about this crazy thing about a hair salon called the Devil's Haircut. I said, oh my God, Lene, half the people in this little town are going to go, oh no, they're never going to come there. And of course I was wrong about that.
No, you were right.
I was, yeah. But the half that won't come there, they're not our people anyway, right?
Well, they don't have hair either, like you, Paul. But
Yeah, I have to confess, Lene's never cut my hair. And then there was other crazy thing. One day, Lene is sitting on the couch in our sunroom, and it's in the middle of COVID. And she said, I think I want to open a bar. But not a regular bar, a private bar, like a club, like a family place, like a blah, blah, blah. It's the middle of COVID. And I said, here's $200, we're your first 2 members. And I said, I think you're crazy. And she said, it's funny that you should say that because the name of it is The Crazy Diamond. And Ann and I have been in love with her ever since. We've adopted her in our heart. We think of her as our daughter, and we think of her Oliver as our grandson. And he even calls me Grandpa when he comes over. So it's one of the most lovely things that's happened to us in the last 150 years that we've been here. And we love you now, and we will love you forever. I'm sorry nobody showed up for your party.